Kia ora and welcome to New Zealand. I know I'm looking a little bit like the Michelin Man today, but that's because it got down to minus 16 here last night. I got 6 layers on and toe warmers just to keep me warm today. But we've come to the Mackenzie region, which is smack bang in the middle of Christchurch and Queenstown. 7,500 square kilometres of some of the most beautiful landscape that you'll find not only in New Zealand, but anywhere in the world, and no more beautiful than where we are today. We have come to the Aoraki Mount Cook National Park, where you're surrounded by 19 peaks over 3,000 metres high. I know I normally feel pretty small, but this is quite a humbling experience. You feel tiny here, surrounded by these icy giants. It's also where you'll find a once-in-a-lifetime experience, the only place you can do this anywhere in New Zealand. It is called the Glacier Explorer Cruise. And I've got Will here, who's a Glacier Explorer guide. Good morning, mate. How are you?
Oh, I'm bloody good. Oh, no.
No, you're fine. Don't worry. It's okay. We can run with that.
Yeah.
It's all good, mate. You know, it's morning TV. It's late morning TV.
Great.
So we're good. I mean, you're a bit of a Viking. So
Really good. Really good.
Really good. Oh, we love the New Zealand sense of humour. Now, mate, take us through this this incredible place.
So we're on the Tasman Glacier Terminal Lake, which is a relatively new lake, kind of looking at recent history. Before the 1990s, where we are on our little boat here, we'd actually be frozen completely inside of the Tasman Glacier. So we're looking at an area that's going through quite a lot of change, upsides and downsides to that. And one of the upsides is that we now have this fresh lake with some magnificent icebergs floating around. Allows us to do some pretty awesome experiences out here.
What do you think tourists can expect to get from a cruise on Tasman Lake?
So this is the only opportunity of its kind in New Zealand, and one of only 3 or 4 in the entire world, which allows for small boat tours in and around, getting quite up close and even touching icebergs. Short of going to somewhere like Antarctica, it's really the only place that you can do it. And I mean, in talking about wide New Zealand, you're talking about coming to a place, maybe not the time of year this year for the winter, but you come out here in the middle of summer perhaps, come out and touch some icebergs, and on the same day drive a couple of hours out to the coast and go for a swim on a sandy beach. It's just, there's nowhere else like it.
So we've got a massive iceberg behind us at the moment. Where does it come from?
So this iceberg, as with all the icebergs on the lake, they carve off of the Tasman Glacier, carving just being the fancy word for ice breaking off and then floating around in the lake. So these icebergs, they are moving, they are floating, they have to move in order to be called icebergs, and they can move pretty quick as well, actually. We got about 6 kilometres, 6.5 kilometres nearly of lake these days, and on a really windy day, an iceberg can actually break off of that glacier and travel the entire length of the lake in 6 hours. So, yeah, they can move pretty quick. And you do kind of have to keep your eye on them as well, because I'm sure everyone's heard the phrase, that's just the tip of the iceberg. Of course, that comes from the fact that on a glacial lake like this, we're seeing only the top 10% of any single one of these icebergs. So kind of think of this as if I was an iceberg, my head would be poking out above the water, neck below would all be underneath. If we could squish the iceberg around here into a nice ball shape, you'd have pretty much a body underneath the water here.
So how deep is the actual lake?
So this valley, it retrogrades as we head up towards the glacier. On average, we're looking at about 180 metres deep in this lake, where the deepest point that we know of at the moment is 273 metres, which is right in front of the glacial face.
And how long do tourists come out on a cruise?
So we hope to have you at least on the water for an hour. The whole excursion, which starts and finishes in the Aoraki Mount Cook Alpine Village, over the way there, takes about 2.5 hours to get to and from the village.
All right, well, we're just at the start of the Tasman Lake at the moment. Around about 6 k's up, you'll find the face of the glacier, which is one of the most incredible sights in the whole of New Zealand. So stay with us. We're going to take you live to the glacier in about 1 hour's time. How beautiful is this? It's just spectacular.
Oh, looks pretty amazing. Very chilly. Wow, don't just dream about it.
Beautiful.
Book it. Book your next holiday to New Zealand now. Head to newzealand.com and we'll check in with Stevie very soon.